Welcome to a Drop Tent Media production.
The Porcupine with Adam Nutter.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to episode number 21 of The Porcupine. I am Adam Nutter. Real quick, of course, you can find me at Adam Nutter on all the social media stuff. I don't know when I'm releasing this episode. Shit. Fuck it. October 15th, coming out to the Pop-In at Chalfont, Pennsylvania, right outside of Philly. Myself and Neil will be opening up for the great Aaron Berg. You know him from In Hot Water, Confident Media, all that great shit. Legion of Skanks guest. And then October 22nd, I'll be at the Ivy Tavern in Hamilton, New Jersey. It's Trenton. Come on out to that. And other dates in the works down the road for sure. So come on out to those. All right, guys. My guest today is the fucking motherfucking man himself from Liberty Lockdown, the Mr. Clint Russell.
Adam, thank you so much for having me on, man. It's an honor. I've been waiting to come on, so thank you.
Dude, no, it's an honor for me, sir. I guess I just had on your ex-husband Reed on the last episode. So
Telling me he owes me child support, that piece of shit.
we don't believe in that here. We don't believe in child support. How dare you? How dare you offer that? I feel bad. My producer was like, I was on Reed, and like I had a lot of questions to ask Reed, and I don't officially have ADD, but I have something. You know, I have something, and I was on my phone like feverishly like looking stuff up, but it just looked like I was just texting the whole time. And my producer was like, "Hey man, you're on your phone a lot," and I was like, "Huh? Oh!" So I had to text Reed. I was like, "Hey man, I wasn't ignoring you or texting you. I was like looking shit up." But I have like my brain works so fast, I kept thinking like 5 questions ahead. So we would talk about something. I'd be like, "Oh, we're not gonna look at that," and then we would get off that and be like, "Fuck, we're not gonna look at something else." It's like we never. So I was like, "All right, I'm not gonna do that with you. My phone's down. We're not doing that now. This episode."
Hey, now that I understand what you're doing, it wouldn't bother me either way.
No, I know, but I felt bad. I still feel bad I fucking was doing that. It's shitty. All right. Clint, Liberty Lockdown. Fucking host Liberty Lockdown. Great podcast. Fucking great guest. I asked this question to all of my first-time guests. What brought you to the Liberty Movement?
I am one of the rare second-gen libertarians.
Wow. You're like a fucking myth. You're like one of those Jedis that no one ever heard of.
I know, I'm a unicorn. Or the gay Jedi. My dad found it in like, I don't even know when, 70s, I think. So even though I wasn't raised by him, he's still like, all of the messaging to me was about libertarianism and liberty and the founding fathers and things like that. So yeah, dude, I'm OG from birth.
Wow, that's wild. So your dad like legit preached this shit to you since you were a kid?
Yeah.
Wow,
I mean,
cool.
I wasn't, like I said, I wasn't raised by him, but I spent one weekend a month with him because my parents were separated or divorced. And so we would take these 4-hour car rides out to Ridgecrest, California, where he had this nightclub. And he would just indoctrinate me the entire time, talking about, delayed gratification, investing money. And I was 5 years old. So yeah, I'm a total weirdo.
Wow. Yeah, but dude, yeah, sure. But but you're better for it. Like I wish my dad, my parents were born. Jesus Christ, they were raised. What the fuck is wrong with me? They're not raised. My parents were always like Republican, right leaning people. So I never grew up in a left household. But now they're libertarian, and I was like, great. I'm already way past that. Like, where was this shit? Because I wish I would have, got those values. I mean, you get some of them with Republican values, right? Like money and stuff like that, but like, not really. A little bit. Right. You get some stuff. So you're way ahead of the curve, dude, in a good way.
Oh, believe me, I say I'm a weirdo only in the sense that I'm very unusual. To have those values as a 5-year-old. I was selling candy in my middle school, and I was making $100 a week cash, and I was miles ahead, but it wasn't of any doing of my own. It was just kind of the influences that I had in my life. So I completely agree. I mean, it's not a negative for sure. Like it definitely, the only negative is in the sense that like, once you're red pilled, there's no going back.
Yeah.
And I was kind of red pilled from Jump Street. So like, there was no option. I didn't really choose this life, but I wouldn't change it for the world. I mean, it's absolutely made me who I am. I'm basically retired in my late 30s. Like there's no downside to it other than the fact that I now see kind of the veneer of civilization and question everything. So that's a little discontenting, but otherwise it's all good.
Yeah, man, it's wild because like most of us had like that path of like I never believed or trusted anything anybody told me, right? I was always anti-authority to my core,
Right.
But you don't think straight up like the government's a complete conspiracy and all this shit, and until like you hit your early 20s, you're like, huh.
Until 9/11.
yeah. I was still like a kid. I was like 14, so I still didn't really and I am from Staten Island. I have this. I kind of talk about this in my act a little bit, but like we saw the smoke from like my fucking house, like my school. Like we had kids in our school. Their parents died in 9/11. Like it was fucking real to us. Like it was there. It was like fucking legit. But like you're still 14 years old. You don't really get like war or like any. Actually, you don't get anything. You're a dumb idiot. Up until you're like 30, you're pretty much retarded. Until like so like a 14-year-old Adam was like, okay, cool, we're bombing the people who did this to us. Yeah, get them.
Exactly.
You don't know,
right?
Until you start to hear like, hey, why would a bunch of Saudis crash their planes into?
Why are we attacking Iraq?
Right.
If it was Saudis,
and you're like, huh? I guess it does make sense. And it's basic questions that make you go, oh yeah, that does kind of sound right.
Yeah.
So, but I had that gradual path into. You were just like, nah, fucking all bullshit. 9/11 inside job.
Well, I mean, I can't say that. I mean, certainly in the immediate aftermath of 9/11, I was like, whoever did this, let's go kill them. Like even as a libertarian, I still believe like. You kill 3,000 of my countrymen, like you got to go.
Yeah. Some paybacks in order.
Yeah, but at the same time, then in hindsight, knowing what I know now, or knowing what I knew in 2004 or 3 or whenever I figured it out, it was like, oh well, they took advantage of my rage, my penchant for vengeance, and they used it to further their own political goals. And basically, I concluded you can never ever give the government any additional power. You can never give them the green light for war. You can't give them anything more. Like we just have to hold the line and hopefully pull back a little bit or a lot of it. So yeah, that was kind of the arc for me. But certainly, 2002, I was probably as neoconservative as I've ever been in my life. I was like, let's kill people. I was pissed. It was a horrifying, traumatic thing, and I think I was 18 when it happened. So it definitely left an impact on an entire generation.
Oh, for sure. You know what was worse though? January 6th. Let's not forget.
Absolutely.
Let's not forget that day.
January 6th. It goes like the Holocaust and then 9/11 and then January 6th.
Yeah,
nothing comes close.
Not in some circles. Some circles that's before the Holocaust. That is the Holocaust in some circles.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying that was the top.
Mean 3?
I was going 3 to 1.
3 to 1. I got you. Yeah. Dude, that was. You know what's sad about like this whole thing is I have a lifelong friend of mine. We grew up literally 3 houses down from each other. I was 9 years old when I met him, and he was 8. Like we're a year apart. We always stay close. We kind of went our separate ways. I went more comedy and stuff, and he went more into like he was always like a book nerd, like Professor, like Milton and all those guys, but lefty, fine. But then he just got in that like professor circle. And just sunk, like it just full blown, just got like vapid brain. And I retweeted some dumb politician saying how January 6th was worse than 9/11. I was like, this fucking dummy. And again, lifelong friend. I post all my comedy stuff online. I post all my other not my non-political podcast online. My comedy never likes it, never retweets it, never engages with it. But I post this. He's like, well, actually, the loss of life might have been worse, but the day of January 6th was way worse for the integrity. I was like, hey, man, no, it wasn't. Like, there's no, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yes, I do know what you're saying.
There's nothing else to say, but it's like, no, it wasn't. And then he texted me, because this was on Twitter. He texted me. He's like, I just wanted to text you because I'm a little nervous. I was scared the rat you're going down. I was like, I'm a little scared the rat you're going down. Everything he said to me, I was like, I can say the same exact thing to you, but I'm right. But like, I didn't say I'm right because that's an egotistical thing to say. But but we know.
Yeah.
Here's the difference between us and them. He actually said at one point in the argument, he goes, well, actually, here's the difference. He actually said, here's the difference. I'm right. I said, there you go. That's all you guys think that. You guys think you're fucking right. That's the problem. And
Right.
you could have said that from the beginning. We could have saved this half hour of bullshit conversation. Because it's not,
Look, honest to God, like, I think it's a great litmus test for sanity. Like, if you think January 6th, where literally no one died in terms of, well, I guess you could say that one of the aggressors died in Ashley Babbitt. Otherwise, no one died. There was no victims other than Ashley Babbitt. And you're going to say that that was worse than 3,000 people
because
dying?
again, they go, well, the loss of life was clearly the worst. They go, the integrity. Shut the fuck up. Oh, so the integrity of lying us into 7 wars? That was fine?
Even if you want to go the integrity route, it's still like the integrity of our democracy and all that nonsense. It's still worse because 9/11 led to the Patriot Act and the NSA and the TSA. The integrity of our nation was damaged on all accounts, both in terms of loss of life and as well as, policies and loss of liberty. So fuck your friend. What an idiot.
100%. Lefties don't value life because he said, and I have the text to show you if you ever want to look at it, but like he was like, I was like, I said the same thing you said. I said the only person that died that day was killed by an unarmed American citizen, was killed climbing through a window. And then
That's the facts.
and he said, good, there should have been more of them, Ashley Babbitt's that day. And I said, yeah, because that's what you really want. You want anybody who doesn't oppose your view dead.
See, that shit makes my blood boil. Like the fact that people feel that way.
Yeah.
It's just an interesting thing because like, and I've noticed this a lot with COVID hysteria as well, is like, no matter how upset I am about these things, I don't want people that took the V to die, like just because I'm not taking it. Like I'm not a crazy person. I don't want people to take it to die. Like the only people I would mind dying are the people that are locking me down for a year and a half. Like
actual evil people. Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Those people I don't care about, but I'm just saying like the people that have been tricked into all this bullshit and that believe in this stuff, I still don't want any harm done to them. But the left, it's different.
Yes.
Like they have a level of rage and venom towards people that aren't willing to go along with it. And the reason I think that venom comes to the fore, and I think the best way to describe it is that they view us as apostates. They think that we, like all of us, were part of the religion of America and the religion of following political leaders in this country. And now those of us that have seen the light and fallen away from this cult, which is what I believe they are participating in, is a cult-like behavior, we are now apostates to them. And there is nothing that you can't do to an apostate in many religions. Like, so that's the justification for them treating us as if we're subhuman, because they genuinely believe we are. It's really horrifying.
Yeah, man, that's a great point. Fuck, my brain is trash right now. You just said something about apostate. Oh, that's it, religion. No. So that's the thing. So I'm not a religious guy in the sense of like gods or anything. Like I'm an agnostic. I don't fucking know what's out there. It could be nothing.
Same.
It could be anything. I don't fucking know. I do know this though. These fucking hardcore lefties for sure don't believe in a god because they think it's fucking gay or whatever. Like God's stupid. It's like that's the other thing too. They're like, I know for a fact God's stupid doesn't exist, but they'll believe everything the government says as like sure. But that's the thing.
That is their god. Just
what
so
I was gonna say.
know.
So they don't have another god to look up to. So they look up to government, which is a tangible god. So they can actually follow through with what this tangible god says to them because there's something to grasp to. So you could
100%.
go right. So you could go like, oh shit, my God's telling me that you're bad, and I can actually see him telling me that. So I'm gonna do what my God said. And even if you say, well, your government's a god, they go, no, it's a civilized society. Yeah, that's why you need force to fucking put your ideas through. It's like
exactly. No, you're 100% right. I mean that is what we're witnessing, and this is the reason that they're behaving in such an egregious manner, is because they don't just believe they're correct, but they believe they are holy. They believe what they're doing is like brought down from the heavens to lock people in their home, to keep children masked, to put things in people's body that hasn't been tested thoroughly. Like all of that is justifiable if you believe that God is telling you to do it. I really believe that's the only way you can justify this level of depravity.
How does it end? Like that's, what I'm saying? Like I keep saying, and this isn't how, I want to be careful what I say here because it's fucking YouTube.
Yeah.
I don't want this.
I don't either.
Repeat, I don't want what I'm about to say to happen, but I feel the only true way to end all this shit is bangy bang 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 bang. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, my personal opinion is that usually when you have a kind of psychotic religious revival in history, it ends in violence. I mean, that's normally how these things end. And either it's the people that are participating in the church, or it's the people that are dissidents from it that die. I mean, that's normally how it goes. And, you know, you have Salem witch trials, you had witches that were dying in that case. And right now, because the cult is so large and has so much power, I think that the most grave danger is to people like you and I. I think that they could absolutely go the gulag route and God knows what else. I think that the only reason I'm hopeful is because as they get more egregious in their behavior, as they rip people's livelihoods away from them, even those that are willing to get the V but still value privacy and bodily autonomy and want to do it, you know, for their own decision making, they are looking at coworkers who they care about that are also now in this position of losing their livelihood. And that's going to make an impact on people. Not everybody, but there's going to be a significant percentage of this country that starts to wake up as the mandates roll out for, you know, your gym, your yoga studio, your theater, whatever your favorite pastime is, and you're no longer allowed to go, or you're not able to go with some of your friends that aren't willing to play this game. It's gonna start to divide this country in a very significant way. And my belief is that we only need 20% ride or die people that are like, I am not doing any more of this. I will not comply further. And if that happens, I think we can actually win this. The alternative is that we end up in a hot civil war. And I really, really don't want that.
No, it's awful.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. Although apparently we could just beat the military with fucking random guns that we find across the street. And
well,
shitty...
in fairness, the Afghanis were armed. The Mujahideen were armed by the CIA. So unless the CIA wants to hook us up,
that is true. Who the fuck knows? Honestly, maybe. Who the fuck knows?
They absolutely might.
They absolutely might. Yeah, there is a real like. What did you see? What was going on in Washington State? Well, apparently they're rolling out camps. I don't know. Okay, so do you know about this? I really don't know about this. So what's the deal?
I mean, I don't know a ton about it. All I heard is that they are hiring people for quarantine camps. So
how is that going to work?
I think the same way it's working in Australia. I mean, you have people that are in concentration camps or quarantine camps. You can put whatever, you know, preface to the camp that you want. But I think that it's the same tale. I mean, there are people that will accept this fate. Canada has them too, brother. Like there are many nations that already have this, and now we have states in America that are doing the same thing. I mean, this is the trend line is horrific.
Guns, though.
We do, but we're not saying no. You know, like I mean, the only way the guns work is if you stand up with them.
Yeah.
And
why aren't we?
I think that first off, the entire, you know, media, the elite, the politicians, every influencer for the most part are all pushing the same message that anyone that is pushing back on this is an idiot, a conspiracy theorist, a danger, a this, a that, a terrorist, a threat, whatever. So I think that the people that see the world the way you and I do feel as if they're alone. They feel as if there aren't a lot of people that feel this way because you don't get to see it in the media. They do a tremendous job of creating and crafting and sculpting this narrative to make it seem as if, you know, 80% of people are on board. It's not the case. I mean, I know tons and tons of people, especially relatives of mine. The fact is, people, because they think they're in such a minority, they're afraid to speak up. Right. So it's really important that people have the courage to start to tell the truth about how they feel so that other people can have that same courage. And then you kind of get the snowball going in the opposite direction. But I think that's why.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. I always, Jesus Christ. I also think that there's it's like no one wants to be the first one.
Oh, that 100%. Yeah.
Right. So it's like, hey, I'm not willing to do it. Like, yeah. Right. Like first of all, I don't even have any guns because I have a weed license in PA and I can't have a gun. So like, I don't have any guns. That's
well,
so like,
yeah, no, if you're talking about actually taking up arms, I think the reason that hasn't happened is because, I mean, first off, it's such an extreme level to take. And it's ultimately the first person to do it is guaranteed to die.
Or in life, prison for life forever.
Yeah. I mean, I think whether or not you believe that dude that went to the Capitol with the truck bomb or all these
Right.
other people that have been arrested by the FBI. I think most of them are all FBI informants, and this
Yes.
is all concocted. That's
Yes,
my
yes.
opinion. But assume one of them is legit. Assume the kidnappers in Michigan, which by the way were totally FBI
10
informants.
out of
I don't know.
12.
Yeah, 10 out of 12 were. So I'm just saying, assume that was a genuine plot. Those guys are going to go to prison forever. So
Yeah.
like it's basically like, this is where the whole martyr conversation comes in. Like basically the first people that do that go that route are going to be martyred for this cause. And it doesn't mean that they're going to prevail. So it's and ultimately we have food on the table and we have Wi-Fi.
That's
so I think that's
my point. That's not my other point. It's like
Yeah.
it's also still America,
Exactly.
Like, yeah. Well, I always think like the Bundy Ranch people.
Right. Yeah. I would love to see those motherfuckers.
But like that worked.
Yeah, it did. But they did it with significant numbers. I mean, it would have had to. It would have been a bloodbath.
But think about it. Think about it. That was for cattle.
I know.
we can't do that for our actual fucking freedoms and this country. Like, I don't understand.
I know. Believe me, I have the same frustration. I think it's also a tremendous fear about informants. Like if anyone was to come to me and be like, "Hey, grab your AR, we're gonna go stand on outside the Capitol, and we're gonna tell them, until you lift the V mandate, we ain't going away." I'd be like, "Okay, Fed."
Right. Yeah,
like,
fuck off, guy.
There's no way I would show up.
All right, Nick Sarwark. Okay.
Exactly. So I think that's a big problem too, is that no one trusts anybody, and our community is all electronic. So it's like, it's impossible to actually know if anybody's the real deal.
Dude, I'm in like a bunch of Signal chats, with other just Mises people and just other libertarian, and like so many times it's like, hey, we can't talk in the main chat because my people plants in there. I'm like, I'm getting tired of all these fucking chats and fucking plants and possible plants. It's like, it's making this very, very. I'm hating it. Like, it's just so much to keep up with.
I know. It drives me crazy too. But the truth is, there are a ton of plants.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just a fucking reality. I think people are both overly paranoid and also too lackadaisical, like simultaneously, if that makes any sense. But that's really my belief. Like sometimes people are like, "Oh, there's a hot girl that's in Liberty Twitter. She's a Fed." I'm like, well, no, she's actually not. That dude that's asking you, what you're going to do about all this stuff, that guy's probably a Fed.
Right.
So you got to be a little bit more discerning. It's really good if you meet people in person and get to know them. And I don't know what tests you can do, but I find that if you sleep with them, it's probably not a Fed.
Probably not a Fed. But then I always think, oh, Donnie Barasco. Like he did pretty well. Like he did really well. Like he thought he was one of them at one point. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like we could get a Donnie Barasco in our group, and that's
true.
What was this fucking Fat Dave?
I met Fat Dave. If he's a Fed, I'd be really surprised. He and his wife are very sweet.
I don't know. His account just got banned. Maybe that's his way out.
Do they ban Feds though?
Maybe that's his way out. That's his pullout. That's his murder.
He got too close.
He got too close. Like, we got to ban you. You got to take you out.
the heat was moving in. He met Clint Russell, and then we had to pull him out.
He started talking about his real job. He started talking about his real passions. He's like, I love the FBI. I was like, oh, no, I hate the FBI.
Trust me, no one says the N-word and is still no one says an N-word that much and is a Fed. Like, it's not possible.
Wild how he hasn't been beat up yet. It's crazy.
It's unbelievable.
It's unbelievable. I know how to fight, and I wouldn't say it. I'm like, hey, man, good for you, I guess. You're pushing those boundaries. But, like, I don't know. Take your chances, dude. I mean, do you want to fight? You should learn. You learn quick. You want me to teach you? Like, you want real quick MMA lessons? I can throw it to you. Man, learn how to jiu-jitsu or something. You're getting fucked up.
He thinks just because he can beat up his wife, he can actually stand up in a fight. It's not going to happen, Dave.
Can he beat up his wife?
Probably not. She's taller than him, so.
Dude, I mean, I'm married now, but like, I would never date a chick that was taller than me because I find it emasculating to me.
Yeah. Well, I'm 6'1", so if I fucking run into a chick taller than me, I'm like, this is horrifying.
I'm 6 foot, so I'm right there with you. So it's rare. But even if I find like just 5'10" chicks, I'm like, all right, well, you want to go? You're like intimidated. You want to fight right now?
Oh, see, I dig that. I don't know why. I think it's just because like, I'm like, oh, you're my like. All these other guys, they can't even mess with you. Like I got a monopoly on you, girl. Let's go. I like tall women. I don't know.
No, it's wild about being just even 6 foot is like, I didn't realize how much taller than most of the dudes. I'm only 6 feet tall.
I know.
Wow, I'm like a king. This is crazy. And then you look around, I'm like, oh, everybody else is like 5'8", 5'9". I'm like, yeah, it's like, bitch.
Dude, you know what's really funny too? Libertarian scene. almost all tiny dudes. It's wild. Like
or giants.
Yes, or 6'8".
I think I might be you and me might be you and I might be the only 6 foot, 6'1", reasonably at height, like a little slightly above average height people in the Libertarian Party, dude. Because like again at the fucking thing in Virginia, I was either towering over people or I was like, "Hey man, how are you? Nice to meet you.
It's
My
so
name's
true.
Adam." Like I was screaming up at people. It's fucking wild.
I just think it's further evidence that this is like the island of misfit toys. Like everyone's either too like super short, so that they had to become an intellectual to survive and get pussy at all, or they're like a giant and they're just like they've been ostracized for being so big. So I
said this I don't know on the podcast I just did with Reed and a few other podcasts already, but it has to be said. It's true, and I love everybody. So I love everybody that was there, but you guys are fucking nerds. Like I watched so many guys try to awkwardly fuck chicks on Saturday night, and those girls just couldn't have been more drier. And I'm like, if I was single, man, I would clean house.
I'm telling you, I'm in a good spot. I'm retired and I'm a reasonable height, not crazy tall, crazy small, and I can talk. So yeah, it's a win.
Yeah, like I would just, again, part of being a comic is everyone wants to talk to you after the show.
Of course,
it just is what it is. So like. Yeah. Everyone comes up to you, and like a bunch of chicks come up to me too, and like they weren't necessarily flirting with me. They knew I was married and stuff, and like again, I would never ever cheat on my wife. This is true. I talk about this on stage even, but it's like
gay.
It's like I know I'm gay. Well, I can fuck dudes. That's not cheating.
Oh, that's true. That's a good point.
Yeah, and it's not gay if I don't look at you in the eyes,
or use my Christian name.
Right. Then it's just hate fucking, and that's okay. It's okay. It's okay under God. He said it. He said you're allowed to hate fuck other men.
I believe that was in Deuteronomy.
We gotta ask the other religious people, Libertarian Party, if that's true. But wow, I forgot what I was saying.
I'm sorry. Oh, you said girls come up to you and talk to you after the show.
It's not like they're flirting with me, but I just kept thinking to myself like, oh, I could, if I wanted to make this happen, I can make this happen. Like it's because all the other dudes are so awkward. They're like, do you like music? I'm like, you just ask her for like music. Like,
she's like, no, actually, because she's just as autistic as them. She's like, music scares me. She like covers her ears and runs away.
Dude, watching everybody awkwardly dance and sing, I was like, what a bunch of fucking autists. But I love everybody.
That's exactly how I feel about it. Like, I'm like, y'all are the weirdest people I've ever met, and I also love all of you so much.
I love it the most because I'm like, I thought I was a weird guy, but it's like, oh no, I'm like a golden god among you guys.
Like, it's so true. I only feel normal when I'm at a libertarian event.
Yeah, I'm like, dude, I can throw a football far way further than any of you. Like, I played semi-professional football. That's like the NFL to you guys.
Exactly. Like, I can hang on the rim. Y'all have never even touched the net.
It's so true. It's like, dude, I had sex before. That's cool.
Now it sounds like we're bullying, but I'm being honest. I love you.
I'm fucking around. I'm a comic. I'm joking around.
I'm sure they fuck once or twice
at least.
Yeah,
hands count. For sure. I actually had real questions to ask you.
Okay.
I guess we kind of covered that. Well, maybe not. Would you? I guess, Mail. Is the COVID stuff your personal biggest issue right now? Like the lockdown regime, is that your personal biggest current?
Yeah, I mean that the inspiration for the show, naming it Liberty Lockdown. Like I started in May 2020 to 60 days or something into lockdown. So yeah, that was definitely my siren call. I was like, all right, this is not being addressed, and most importantly, it wasn't being addressed very vocally by the LP, like the Libertarian Party. And I was like, this cannot stand. Like, I will not allow this message to be left in the dust. This is the most important liberty moment in my life. And now, simultaneously, I mean, it's all part and parcel of the same beast, but the V mandates, I feel the same way about. Like, lockdowns can never happen again, can never be allowed. Same with mandates. So
did you see New Zealand came out recently and they were like, hey, we're going to start trying to end this because it doesn't matter?
Yeah, I mean, I'd be lying if I said I wasn't totally surprised. I mean, I've known that this was endemic and not going away for 6 months, so I don't understand what changed, but I'm grateful. I hope that they follow through.
You know, It's ironic, funny, whatever. But like back like in March of 2020, I was like 2 week stops. Bro, it's all over with. Like said it. Wow, was I wrong?
Yeah, we all hoped. I knew right away that it was going to be longer than 15 days. But I think in my first podcast episode, I said I think this, like, people are saying it's only going to last through the summer, and I was like, this thing is lasting 6 to 9 months at a minimum.
Yeah.
Wow. I undershot it terribly.
I'm even talking like I was saying the two weeks thing even before the 50 days to slow the spread. This is like when COVID just first was like brought up in the news. Like,
oh, I got you.
I was like, this will be over in like 2 weeks. This would be like,
oh yeah.
I'm like in April. We'll be like, remember that COVID thing in March? That's what I said a lot.
Yeah. Well, no, you're and you had all the reason to, because how many different viruses did they fearmonger us about? There was Zika and Ebola and swine and all these other avian. Like, yeah, I mean, it was over and over again. They kept bringing this shit up, and it was like, oh, now you're gonna hit us with the real one. All right, here we go.
Wait, were those just buildups? I guess those were just dry runs.
I don't know. I mean, I honestly don't know. I think that there's enough evidence if you look at the videos of the scientists that are now responsible for the lockdown coordination globally, including the research at the W Institute of V. I don't know. I'm trying to keep you safe.
I know. Yeah, thank you. Appreciate
it. Yeah. I mean, if you listen to them talk prior to 2019, it sounds as if they're game planning this type of stuff, and the way it got rolled out, I personally believe that this was orchestrated. That's my belief. I can't necessarily prove it, but I can show you some really interesting things that do not make a lot of sense.
Right. That's the thing is, like, I was like, yeah, I don't know. I also had a bro science thought the other day. I was like, I don't believe we get diseases from animals. I think it's like we get like one disease from like, like think about like we get like hoof and mouth. I know it's like transmittable, but like AIDS. Fuck you. Someone fucked a monkey. I mean, sure, but no, it definitely happened.
Oh yeah, people fuck monkeys.
But like, there's no way that's how we got AIDS, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that was so targeted for two minorities. Like, and I said this before. You know what AIDS used to be called? Do you know what AIDS used to be called before AIDS?
I don't know.
It was called GRID. You know what GRID stood for?
What? Gay-related
immune deficiency.
Oh, I think I remember that.
So,
wow.
Like, it's like it's so obviously they were like, we're going for the blacks and gays, and crack too. Like crack was like looking to try to get rid of the blacks.
And now we have all of these unfunded liabilities that are basically a product of our culture, our aging population not dying. And all of a sudden we have this virus that only takes out the old and infirmed. That's interesting.
Social Security is running out.
That's what I'm saying.
Right.
Those are the unfunded liabilities.
Right. I just remember that right.
Yeah. So I mean, coincidence? I don't know.
Yeah, and that's my wife is totally whole thing right for my wife too. Like she was always she never really cared about politics ever. She was like, I'm a white blonde girl, and now she's like, what? I can't go to Mexico? Like, that was literally her life changed, right? Like,
right.
So the people like her, I think this did a number two, and they're like, okay, fuck the system. This is bullshit. This is corrupt. This is completely lying to us. Like, these rules are arbitrary. They don't make sense. And that's even the thing. To even the regular, even most blue pill dummy in the world, when you go, yeah, well, did you not see Gavin Newsom in a restaurant without a mask on with a bunch of people that were in his family? Answer that. Just give me why that was okay. Go.
They're like, because he was sitting down and Corona only hovers above you. I mean, these people.
That's the dumbest fucking thing. That's like them going, hey, if there's mustard gas, just sit down.
Right. Well, it's the same thing as telling school children to get under their desk when we thought we were going to be nuked. I mean, what the fuck is that going to do?
Right. Yeah. That's the thing. It's like, I'm not a scientist. I'm a stupid comedian. Granted. I have also been told my whole life how mists work. So if you're telling me that mists all of a sudden stopped working at head level while sitting down, cool, I guess. Pluto wasn't a planet anymore either, so I don't know. They can do anything they want.
Well, this is what frustrates me so much. It's like as someone who's traveled a lot recently, you get into the airport, mask the entire way. You go down the walkway to the plane, mask the entire way. You get inside, sit down, have to wear a mask the entire time, except when they bring you your beverages and your snacks, in which case everyone takes down their mask and they eat and they spittle and they do all that shit. If this was so dangerous, the rule would be that there would be no snack time. The mask would
Right.
stay on the entire time. And you wouldn't be able to go to a restaurant. In fact, no one would be going to a restaurant because they would all be petrified because this is so lethal. None of
Right.
this adds up. We're 18 months deep. If you haven't figured it out yet, I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, I was always, it's like, hey, you know why in 28 Days Later the world ended? Because it was people were turning into zombies. I was like, it was like, you know what I'm saying? It was like a legitimate, not like, I'm sick. You okay? Yeah, I'm fine. It's like, okay.
Yeah, it's there's no bloodshot eyes with blood dropping into them. God, that movie's so great.
So good.
Yeah, it really is. I
movie.
don't know how people, and the crazy thing is I still have relatives of mine, people that know me well, that are petrified, that are still staying at home and barely going out at all. And it's just like, what the fuck is happening? I mean, it's just amazing.
I keep saying I smoke weed and I grew up next to Staten Island dump, so I think I'm impenetrable from all disease.
I agree. I mean,
Yeah.
I've had sex with a dozen homeless men.
Yeah,
Raw dog. So
you're good from all STDs and further.
Yeah. I'm bulletproof, brother.
You're like you're our ground hero for that. You're the super spreader for STDs.
I'll tell you, AIDS didn't come from a monkey. It came from me.
Yeah. You also have a time machine, and that's what you do. You just went back and you started all the diseases. It's just you. You're the original fucking plague rat.
I am patient zero. Yeah, I mean, and the other thing that's crazy is that we're still listening to Fauci and that he's not, being tried for war crimes. I don't understand it for the life of me. Like, this guy is so transparently fraudulent and dangerously so, and he has his hands involved in the fucking implementation and the origination. It's like, dude, you gotta go. You gotta go.
What he said the other day was pretty wild. When that guy was like, "Hey, if you keep being wrong, would you ever like step down?" He was like, "No." I was like, "That's pretty crazy."
that's you know what though? It was truthful because he has been wrong the entire time and he hasn't stepped down. So I gotta respect the honesty.
Do
there.
you ever think he'll be a fall guy, or no?
I thought he was gonna be about 4 months ago.
Same, right?
I thought they were turning on him. I thought he and Gates were both going down. If you remember,
Yeah.
there was this 10-day period where both Fauci and Gates kind of stepped out of the limelight and all this terrible news came out about both of them. And I was like, oh shit, they're setting these guys up to be the fall guy. Like, great. I'd rather this end and let these guys go to prison or whatever. That'd be amazing. But no, they must have some sort of leverage or something that allowed them to keep the wolves at bay.
Or they're really just gonna stick with their guns and be like, "Nah, you're the face of this now."
Yeah, I mean, it honestly, like, it could be
I know,
either.
it could be either,
I don't know, but it's just it really seemed as if they were setting up both Gates and Fauci to go down for all of this, and then like 48 hours later, just like on a dime, Fauci was back on stage telling us to shove our hands up our asses, and everyone's like, okay. So I don't know what's happening.
Do you see that Colbert bit they just put out
with the V dance?
Yeah.
What a
cringe
tragedy.
Shit.
It's just so horrific because I really, really liked him back in like the mid 2000s.
Everyone did.
I know. And he was genuinely funny. I mean, his whole bit being Bill O'Reilly, but like this amped up, retarded version of it was phenomenal.
So good.
And now he's just like, I mean, but it's not just him. I mean, Kimmel was the man show. Like, he was a funny guy. I don't know.
What a fall.
It's just heartbreaking, man. I mean, this is why, and I hope that you view it this way. This is why I'm so grateful to see people like you and Dave and others, Robbie, that are, genuinely funny comics that are not trying to play this bullshit PC game. Like, I'm just so sick of it. And the Legion of Skanks, like the whole, like all of that, like that's what we need more of. And the crazy thing is, and Tim Dillon hates this because he's always like, he's tiptoeing into like this political realm because he's just a rational person that's
right.
like, this shit's stupid, like what are we doing? But then people will be like, why are you having performances where the V's required? And he's like, I'm just a comic, I'm not a political activist. And it's like Tim, I don't know if you realize it, but like, you're our only hope.
You kind of are. I know, but like
we need you guys,
at the same time, like, I'm not making Tim Dillon money. I don't know what it's like to lose that money. So it's hard. It's hard to ask somebody like, hey, don't perform at all the major cities in the country.
I get it. But see, that's the thing though. Like, the more money he loses, they also lose a ton of money too. So like, he has more power than you and I do. Like, he's got enormous power.
Yeah.
So
plus his Patreon.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, he's making like $1 million a month or something insane. So.
Is it $1 million a month?
I don't know. It was crazy money.
It's crazy. It's $1 million. No, it can't be $1 million.
I think it was a lot. It was a lot.
Dude, that's upsetting. That's so
Have you met Tim?
No, never. I always wanted to. Yeah. I've never officially met Dave in person.
What? Crazy.
And I
have.
I know, and I'm essentially still a New York comic. I go to New York all the time.
That's a trip.
The first time I met Dave was I was on. We did the 100th episode of Josh Smith's podcast together.
Yeah, no, I watched it. I just assumed that you guys were homies since you're both New York comics.
Nope.
Like,
this first time I ever met Dave was right when he popped on.
Did you get into the Mises Caucus because of him, or?
Yeah.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah,
wow.
yeah, pretty much.
That's
I
awesome.
mean, I was a libertarian before that, but I
Sure.
was with the MC. Yes, I was because of him. Yeah, yeah.
Same. I would have never even known about the Mises Caucus if not for him.
Dude, yeah, you'd be surprised at the people you think I'd meet and never have. Like, Tom Woods is at the fucking Virginia show. I made him laugh. I watched him laugh at me, and then I didn't get to say hi to him. So like, it's amazing. Everyone fucking bails before I get fucking. I met Scott Horton very briefly at the PA State Convention this year. Jeff Deist, I made laugh at the comedy show at the PA State Convention, and I got to meet him briefly. I was like, "Hey man, very nice to meet you." I was like, "Sorry, I said dick a lot."
Dude, I got to hang out with Scott. I picked him up from his hotel. We hung out for hours and hours. Like that guy, he's also another real deal type like Dave. Like those dudes there's nothing performance about it. Like you set them up and they just talk for like an hour straight. It's amazing. Everything that Scott Horton does, by the way, I just look like Trump. Everything that Scott Horton does should be recorded and put on a podcast. Like that guy is a machine.
Yeah, those guys piss me off because like, how are you so good at this? It's like,
I know. Well, it's because they do it all the time.
I know. It's like I feel like what I'm even doing is like pointless because they're so good at it. It's like I don't even know what I'm doing. You don't even have to listen to me. Just go listen to them. It's like, let's all just go listen to them together. Like it's just like
you can just use your podcast like every day. You just hit record. Go listen to Scott and Dave and podcast.
This podcast just be a live stream to watch their podcast. And me being like, that's what I would say if I was better. That's what I would say that if I was smarter. Right here, see what he just said. I think that too. That would be.
Hey, we all have our own lane. Like Dave can out Liberty rant me on pretty much any topic except for banking and finance and mortgages. Like that's my wheelhouse.
Yeah.
Because I did that for 10, 12 years and I really understand it deeply. So we all have our little addition that we add to things. So I think that there's room for everybody. Well, not everybody, but a lot of people.
Someone told me I was funnier than Dave, and it's not true, but I'm gonna roll with that. So
fuck yeah, dude. Hell yeah.
Fuck you, Dave.
I haven't seen you live. I saw Dave and he was pretty funny, but I'll reserve judgment until I see you both.
You can actually watch my set. Mises Caucus put it out on their fucking YouTube like from months ago. Don't though.
Oh, okay.
Don't watch that shit. I actually wish they take it down. I fucked up.
Was it bad?
No, it was good. Best problem.
Oh, okay.
It was a lot of material.
Right.
I kind of burnt on it.
Yeah. No, I got you.
So it's funny. They recorded us. They're like, do you want to release it? I was like, do not release it. I was like, send it to me directly. I was like, you send that to me and no one else, so I can release what I want. Yeah, no, it's that's the thing is like my only angle is because that's my other niche is like I'm a comic, so I try to at least like I feel like at least Dave and part of the problem is like that's more like straight lined, and like at least on this show is like let's talk about dicks more.
Yeah.
And joke around. I bring more levity to it.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. As you probably know, since I'm a member of Tower Gang, like this is what I like to do.
Yeah.
I prefer like I need to have some levity in this because if I were to just talk about how serious this is 24/7, I would lose my mind. Like I have to get away and talk about shitting your pants and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I need that in my life. So please don't stop.
Yeah, no. Even on my comedy podcast, I do some every now and then. Like we definitely try not to talk about politics on it because we just want to joke around. But like sometimes it will get brought off, and I'll just kind of go silent, and and be like, "Oh, you want to talk about it?" Like I'm like, "Yeah," because like you come listen to this, if you know what I'm saying. Like I don't
Right.
like want to bore, especially if I know libertarians listen to both shows, and I'm sure they don't want to listen to Cult of Us because for my fucking political take. They want to listen to this for my political take. So like they want to go there and listen to comedy and just me dicking around with my friend. You know? So like I want to try to separate it the best I can.
Yeah, I mean honestly, I don't think there's any magic recipe, dude. It's like it's whatever you're most passionate about. Like Tower Gang, I don't make very many jokes when I'm on Liberty Lockdown. But when I'm on Tower Gang, I'm gonna say the most fucked up things imaginable. So yeah, I keep it kind of separated as well. But it's like I'm also not gonna not be funny on Liberty Lockdown just because like that's the more serious realms.
Right. Well, of course. Yeah. No,
if something strikes me, I'm just gonna say it.
No, in fact, I need to go back on Tower because they said I was their funniest person, and then Josh Denny went on, and they're like, "No, he trumped you." I was like, "Motherfucker,
dude!" Josh brought the house down.
I
You got some
know. I had Josh
competition.
on my podcast. After that, I was like, "I have a bone to pick with you." I was like, "I have to go back on there now, and I have to overdo it to be number one again." You fucking cunt! I, was like,
I love
"Thanks."
it. I mean, this is what we need. We need you guys competing to be the best host. I remember Fighting the Kid a couple of years ago. They had the same thing. They had like a bunch of. I mean, obviously they have funniest people on the planet going on their show, and they had Chris D'Elia.
Yeah.
Won it back-to-back years, and every
That's
time
right.
he would go on that show, it was like you could not miss it. Like he was just so funny. Him and Brian together.
Him and Brian.
amazing.
That's man. That's weird. That's the third time talking about Chris D'Elia today. Weird. The thing with that whole thing is it was just creepy. You know what I'm saying? Like people don't know what the fuck Chris D'Elia is. Chris D'Elia is a fucking very famous comic who, I mean, he had millions of followers, big podcast. He just filmed that fucking zombie movie that Batista was in that got released that they cut him out of. They had to reshoot around.
Right.
Essentially, he got Me Too'd, but like kind of bullshit. Like he was just messaging 18-year-old chicks and being like, "You want to fuck?" And if they weren't 18, he's like, "Oh, my bad, you're not 18," and like stop talking to him. So listen, it's creepy. That's not like I'm 35. Like I don't know what to talk to an 18-year-old about. Like I don't. You know,
that's why he wasn't talking to him.
I know.
He was just
I
saying,
know.
"You want to fuck?"
Even that, I'm like, you're like a child.
I agree. I
It's creepy.
wouldn't do it either.
Not illegal though. So like,
No.
to each his own. But he got fucking buried for being kind of a creep. But to his own. But who gives a shit? But his fucking,
I don't
he
personally.
was funny. His fucking dynamic with Brian Callen was great. They had a Netflix show they were gonna do that got canceled. Like all this shit ruined that. All this joy that they could have given to other people ruined off of legitimately nothing. A lie. Not even a lie. Just a mistruth.
Yeah, well, and then Callen's accusation is from the 90s, and it's like this girl doesn't come forward for 30 years, and I'm supposed to take it as if it's like a guaranteed authentic thing. Like maybe it is.
Right.
I don't know, but it's 30 years passes. Like what am I supposed to do with this information? So I don't know, man. It just bums me out because those are two of the funniest people that were working, and I thought their chemistry together was just, I mean, A++. So it's just sad. I mean, if Brian did that, sure, he deserves to pay a price. If D'Elia ever actually did anything with anyone underage, like he should pay a price. But it's at the same time, like I don't have any evidence of either of those things occurring. So what do you want me to do? I'm still gonna listen to the fucking podcast. Sorry.
Callen and D'Elia should just do it on YouTube. Just like do whatever they can do for Netflix. Just do it themselves because they'll make money off it for sure.
100%. They should go the same route as the guy that got canned from SNL.
Gillis.
Yeah. What's the name of the show though? It's Gillian Keeves. Dude, that thing is blowing up and it's fire. It's some of the funniest shit out there.
That's better than anything SNL has put out in 20 years.
Maybe ever. Yeah.
Maybe ever, actually. Yeah, maybe ever.
Yeah. It's really that good.
So good.
I mean, the one where
I know, by the way, I'm friends with a lot of those guys. Actually, I am personal friends with a lot of those guys. Those guys I am.
Of course.
Not Shane, but like I know Matt. A lot of the background actors are comics. I know all those fucking guys. Like those guys, because I live outside of Philly now. I'm from, I'm from New York, but so I know all those fucking guys. But yeah, dude, him doing that, like, yeah, he definitely probably lost money for sure. He lost SNL money for sure. That sucks.
100%.
But dude, he got way more fans out of it and true following out of it.
And I saw him not this. I guess it was 2 New Year's Eves ago at the Hollywood when Legion of Skanks did their New Year's Eve thing at the Comedy Store in LA. And God, I keep forgetting his name.
Shane Gillis.
Thank you. Shane Gillis was in the lineup. I had never heard of the guy.
Yeah.
And I thought he was the funniest person that did the thing. And then like 6 months later, he is hired for SNL, and then 30 days later, or whatever it was, he's fired from SNL. And I was like, man, that sucks because SNL is just it's the dregs. It's just you literally never laugh. I could watch an entire episode. I could watch an entire year of episodes of SNL and never laugh. So like, hire this fucking guy, please.
It's trash. what's cool about Shane is like I saw Shane do fucking small 50-seater rooms, like, you know, in the middle of fucking nowhere, PA.
Oh, I bet. Yeah,
and
I bet.
crush.
Yes, I'm sure, dude.
Like,
I mean, he's unbelievably funny.
So, dude, that whole bit about Trump, like, when you nuke it, you know, dude, it's so fucking good, dude. Yeah, and you know, SNL straight hired him because of like, well, he's not a lefty.
Right. Yeah, and I mean that's the thing is like, because it is a monolith, like you have to be woke. Like you have to be woke to be in Hollywood, to be a comic. Like if you want to be on Netflix, like the window of people that aren't woke that are still allowed in these arenas is getting smaller and smaller. It's basically like no new people are going to be allowed into it. It's only the people that like Chappelle's not really woke. Bill Burr's not really woke. Like these guys that have already made it and they know they're going to have, I don't even know, 50 million people watch Chappelle's new shit when it drops. It doesn't matter. He's going to still get a payday. But all the young people that are trying to get those paydays that aren't woke, like good luck. I mean, you got to go indie or you're toast.
Yep. It's also like, so these people, they have no problem selling their souls for fucking to get to SNL, to do like all these late night spots, like, you know, like, oh, I did Fallon, oh, I did Kimmel, I'm on SNL. Go look at their followers on Twitter.
Right.
You have more.
I bet.
because no one gives a fuck about them. They're just being pushed by through the industry, not fans. Go look at Shane's Twitter follower count.
I'm sure it's
30
enormous.
something. I'll tell you right now.
Yeah,
let's
I'm
see.
sure it's big. I mean, that's the thing. That's what gives me hope is like, no matter what the industry wants, like there's still a market for, you know, aggressive, legit comedy.
I'm just trying to fucking hold on. Shane Gillis, 76.8 thousand followers on Twitter.
There you go.
Now, you know what? Fuck, I should have done this while I was still on Twitter. Let me look up Bowen Yang, the guy that fucking also got hired. Oh, is he not even on fucking Twitter? Did he get bullied off Twitter?
Hopefully.
Wow. I can't even fucking find him. Yeah, man, all these fucking, again, people will come after him. You go look at their following. 100 followers, 200 followers. Comics who have done legitimate 3 or 4 late night spots, like on, you know, what used to be considered primetime TV. Right. I have more followers than them.
Yeah.
And I have like 1,500 followers. That's it. And I'm like, I have more than you. I'm like, no one fucking knows who I am. Like, I've never done comedy on fucking Kimmel.
I think this is a perfect example of why I've had success is like there was just such a void of people talking about how wrong these lockdowns were. And I just leaped into it. And I tweeted 4 or 5 bangers a day. And a year later, I go from 2,000 followers to 22,000 followers. I mean, it's crazy. Whereas, you know, most of these people that are actually like, they are being picked up by the industry, but they still can't make a dent. They can't get any following because people fucking hate what they have to say. There's nothing inspirational. There's nothing original. It's just like, I could go watch Kimmel, you know, if I want to hear this boilerplate trash.
Well, there's that thing of like Netflix is like, we're going to put up like, you know, comics of color and gay comics. It's like, okay, cool.
How about funny comics?
How about funny comics that also happen to be gay? Like, you know what I'm saying?
That'd be fine.
Like Tim Dillon.
Yes. Like, where's Tim Dillon's special?
Oh, so he was on that. So that's funny. He was on that one Netflix 15-minute thing. They had the stand-ups.
Right.
And they were like only one of the comics is only you know, not gay white guy. And obviously it wasn't Tim Dillon, but like Tim Dillon was more straight than the fucking straight guy that was on the fucking show.
I know. You would never be able to tell Tim was gay if you didn't talk about it occasionally.
No, it's.
But my point is, why does Tim not have an hour and a half special? Why doesn't he have an hour special every year? The guy is so funny, and they just like he's shelved, even though he's an enormous star, enormous. So I mean, it's like that's the thing that trips me out about this is like there's real money to be made pushing someone like Tim Dillon. It's evident based off his Patreon. Had some other agency picked him up and pushed him as hard as they push fucking these scumbags that replaced Shane Gillis on SNL, they could have made an enormous amount of money. So like they are literally sacrificing financial well-being just for the wokeness. Like that's a really horrifying trend that I don't think people have like really thought about how crazy that is.
Dude, want to hear how crazy this woke shit gets? And then we can start to wrap it up because I feel bad. We're going for like an hour. there was, again, randomly this year, the Shane Gillis SNL thing's been done for a while now. You know, it's been kind of over. Randomly, this fucking no-name fucking female comic from New York tweets out, hey, whatever happened to that racist comic Shane Gillis before? And then Shane went, cool. Cut a clip of her stand-up and just posted it. No fucking subtitle, no like, look at this dummy, just a clip of her stand-up. And she just got eviscerated. But it gets worse than this. The woke shit gets worse. She was apparently a writer for SNL, Jesus Christ, for Adult Swim.
Okay.
I don't know what show. Probably not a good one.
Probably not.
Probably not a good one. Okay? You think Adult Swim, they're pretty fucking crazy. They have a lot of crazy shows on. People are sick of this woke shit, so they went back into her old tweets. And they're like, let's see what you got, bitch.
Hell yeah.
Wow, bunch of Asian shit. Crazy for a white girl. Adult Swim fires her for her old tweets from 2012. Now, here's where it gets even more wokey, dude. She then tweets out, I deserve to get fired.
Well, good for her. I mean, at least she's being...
But, like, I don't want to see her get fired, and I don't like her. But, like, if I condone that, then I'm a hypocrite, right? Like, but it's like, Jesus, how do you not get it?
Are you a hypocrite, though? Because,
yeah,
like,
I feel like I am.
See, the way I feel about it is, if you're going to operate like that, you have to abide by your own rules. You know, like, I don't think those rules should exist.
Right,
and I won't let them apply to me. Like, you want to cancel me? I'm an independent person. I'm independently wealthy, and no one backs me. I don't have any representation, nothing.
Right.
You can't cancel me. I am uncancelable. So good luck. But if they're going to act like that, and you work for a big, woke corporation, then you play the game. Like, why are you going after Shane? Listen, he's already lost everything. So fuck you.
I agree. Again, this comes from a place of like, I just don't want to root it on because I'm like, I'm rooting. You know what I'm saying? Like,
no, you're right.
Dirty.
You're right.
It's like, oh, I'm kind of a hypocrite. Like, she's an idiot. And like,
no, you're right.
Like, it's funny. It's funny.
No, I think that's what I'm saying.
It's 100% hilarious.
I wouldn't go to try and take her head. I wouldn't try to get her fired.
That's what I meant. Yeah.
But if it happens, it's kind of funny. That's
super funny.
Yeah.
Super funny. Well, again, you want to play with dumb fire, and sometimes you get burnt by dumb fire. Because dumb fire doesn't want to play smart. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it is what it is. It's like,
don't hand matches to retards.
Yeah.
You just shouldn't do it. It's not a good idea.
You're going to burn the whole house down, the whole cathedral down. By the way, I don't know if you saw this, but the cathedral Twitter account has been usurped.
What?
You know the LP Cathedral account?
Oh,
on
yeah.
Twitter? It's been usurped. Let's just say that.
I need details. Are you gonna?
I don't know if I'm allowed to say.
Okay.
All fair.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Tell me off.
Yeah.
After,
Well, let's just say
big news.
Let's just say I believe currently at this point of recording, it's there's been a slight coup in the Cathedral Caucus Twitter.
Hell yeah. Well, then I need to check it out because I don't even follow that shit.
No, I don't either. I only know about it because of other circles. I'll get to that after. But we're about an hour, dude. This has been a fucking blast.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
For sure, dude. Definitely, please come on anytime you want. We gotta do it again. We'll get a bunch of people on together or whatever the fuck. Please tell everybody where they can find you, all your stuff, social media, your podcast.
Sure. I am Liberty Lockdown on Instagram. I'm at Liberty Lock Pod on Twitter, and I mainly use Twitter. You can also find me on Locals at I think it's locals.libertylockdown.com if you want to be a subscriber supporter to the show. And lastly, Liberty Lockdown on YouTube. I have an unbelievable lineup in this upcoming weeks. I've got Dave Rubin, David Limbrick, who's the MP for Victoria in Australia, will be on tomorrow. That's going to be a really interesting conversation, and I cannot believe he's agreed to come on. So I hope everyone checks that out. It's going to be revelatory because this guy he's the only politician really actively fighting the insanity that's happening in Australia right now. So God bless him for taking this risk. Also got Ian Crossland from Tim Pool coming on, and Lids as well. God, I have just an insane lineup. Zuby, and the list goes on and on. I think I have Josh Denny coming on. So yeah, it's gonna be wild. Everyone check it out.
Awesome, man. You guys know where to find me at Adam Nutter. Follow me for all my social media, all my upcoming show dates. Go listen to Cult of Us, and of course Porcupine. Download, subscribe, rate, review, all that great shit. Clint, brother, thank you, sir, for coming on. This has been fun. Peace out, motherfuckers.
Thanks for listening. Find Adam on social media, Twitter and IG at Adam Nutter, or Facebook and TikTok at Adam Nutter Comedy. And for podcasts and merch, check out www.droptent.com. Don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe so you never miss an episode.